Welcome into another exclusive interview presented by Garnet Trust. I'm Kendall Smith, joined alongside of Trai Jones. He's an offensive lineman / fullback for the South Carolina football team out of Calhoun Falls, South Carolina. He's entering his redshirt sophomore season this year. Trai, it's great to have you here today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Everything's great. It's a Friday. It's April Fool's Day, so we're officially in the month of April, which means we're just a few weeks away from the spring game, and you've been practicing hard over the last month or so getting ready for that. So how has everything been so far with spring practice, Trai?
It's been going pretty good. I feel like a lot better than I did last season, so I feel good about the game. So we'll see how that goes.
We definitely will. There's a lot to look forward to. And before we get into this year, I want to take it back to last season and one of your most iconic moments as a South Carolina football player. I'm sure everybody watching remembers the game very well. It was against Auburn, and you scored a 3-yard touchdown to tie the game for South Carolina at 14. So you lined up at fullback for that game. Typically, you're an offensive lineman. So I want to start first off by saying, who came to you with the idea to put you at fullback, and what was your reaction?
If I'm not mistaken, Coach Satterfield came up to me. I want to say like week 4. It was before the Tennessee game, and like he was asking me like, have I ever played fullback? I did my senior year in high school, so I told him that, and then the week of the Tennessee game, Monday night, I received a text from my offensive line coach that had some new things for me. So I said, yes, I'll do it. And since then, I was playing fullback.
So when you scored that touchdown, I mean, kind of take me through the whole entire sequence of events from start to finish, before you scored, when you were lining up for the play, to after. What were you feeling? What were your emotions? Were you like freaking out right before the snap happened?
I didn't freak out. Like, I prayed. After they said that it was my play, I was just like telling myself, do not drop the ball, do not drop the ball. So, yeah. So I prayed, and then I caught the ball. So, yeah.
And definitely a memory, a moment I think a lot of people won't forget. It wasn't something that I was expecting to see at all, but once it happened, obviously the place was just electric. You tied the game, as we mentioned earlier, and last season, highly successful for South Carolina, but now we head into a new season. And yesterday, Greg Adkins, who's the offensive line coach for South Carolina, was actually talking, and he mentioned you when he was asked about some of those younger players who have really stepped up so far this season. So you said earlier you're feeling a little better about this year. What improvements have you seen in your game, Trai, so far?
As far as playing guard, I guess you can say, like, I feel like I have a better what's the word I'm looking for? A better vision for the game. Like, I feel like smooth. So yeah, I just feel like I can do more than I did from the previous years. So yeah.
That's good stuff. And obviously you can do a lot, playing multiple positions, lining up, and making things happen on multiple fronts for South Carolina. And I think it's really interesting because I find that the offensive line is probably the most underappreciated position group on the field. I don't know if you agree with that. I'm sure you probably do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, everyone's, always looking at the quarterback, the running backs. On defense, you've got the secondary, the defensive line. For the offensive line, they make a lot of things happen, but they don't necessarily get the credit for it. So for you, Trai, what do you think makes this year's offensive line for South Carolina so special?
Well, I feel like since we got the whole I think it's the whole line back. Yeah, it's the whole line back. So it's a lot of people who already know how the game goes. So we got a lot of guys who have been in this position, so it's not going to be too much of a change, which is good. So I feel like it's going to be good.
So how has it been so far working with all the transfers? I'm sure everyone's going to want to know what has it been like working with Spencer Rattler, that name that just continues to come up again and again during this spring season. How have you enjoyed it so far, and how do you think they've gelled with the team?
Yes, I have. I feel like they've just been there the whole time. I can't even tell that they even knew people. Um, Spencer Rattler, he's a great dude. I mean, he can sling it. I mean, he's a great dude. I really haven't got to talk to him that much. I really don't see him besides, practice stuff like that. But from like what I have able to like say to him, he's a real solid guy, and he's real solid. He's humble, solid, and yeah, that's about it.
It's good stuff. Yeah, I think everything has been good so far in terms of the report back on all the transfers. All the coaches, all the players have nothing but good things to say. So it'll definitely be fun to watch them out there on the field come the spring game, and then of course when the season starts in September. Now in high school, Trey, you played both sides of the ball. So you were not only an offensive lineman, but a defensive lineman. So do you ever miss playing on the defensive line? And what do you think is harder, being an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman?
Sometimes I do miss playing, and I think playing offensive line is hard because you have to, I guess you can say you have to like break down the game more playing offensive line. So yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the offensive line. Like we said, very underappreciated. They deserve some love for all that they do. Trey, being an offensive lineman, playing fullback, you have a lot that you have to keep up with in football, but you're also a student as well. You're studying criminal justice at South Carolina. So kind of take me through a day in your life. How do you balance being an athlete and then a student as well?
Um, it's not that hard. Actually, I just wake up and about 5:30 in the morning. You know, I usually go to practice, but I eat and watch film and stuff first. Then I go to practice, and then I usually get a nap in around 12 to 1:30. Um, Tuesdays and Thursdays I have a class from 2:30 to around 4:45. So yeah, and pretty much after that class I'm free for the day. So I'm probably watching film or I just chill. So that's about it.
What do you like to do when you're chilling, when you get that free time on Tuesdays and Thursdays? What are you doing?
Um, I like to go walking a lot.
Okay.
Let me see what else I do. I'd call my dad and just like talk to my dad about stuff. So
that's
yeah.
awesome. That's I don't know how you wake up at 5:30 in the morning. You say, "Oh, it's it's not too bad. It's easy." Waking up at 5:30, I think sounds horrible. So, was that something that you had to kind of get used to, or have you always been an early bird and been used to getting up that early?
No, I was not used to it, but I've been here since 2020, so it's kind of easy now. So
right,
I'm used to it.
You got a couple years under your belt. I got to ask you, though, about the practice music. So the media was allowed at practice yesterday. I was there. I've been there for a few practices since spring practices started, and they have a very interesting music selection going.
Yeah.
So it'll go from like rap to country to rock. So how is that decided? Do you all get a say in what music is played, or is that straight up the coach's choice?
We choose a few of our strength coaches. They actually come by and they ask the team like, "What do you want to hear?" And yeah, we get rap, country, pop. Yeah, just all kind of stuff. So.
What songs do you request?
I haven't said anything yet, but I might try next week or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny. Every time I hear country, I just always feel like Pete Limbo is the one who's requesting that music. I don't know why. I envision him being the person who's requesting that music. But it is definitely an array of choices. Fun to listen to, though. It's always interesting to hear what's going to come on next. Like we said earlier, we're filming this on April Fool's Day. So, Trey, have you ever pranked anybody for April Fool's, or have you been pranked on April Fool's?
Not that I can remember, nah, but I should, huh?
Now you're like, maybe I should do this today. Who's the most gullible on the team? Who do you think you could like pull a prank over on like that?
Most gullible on the team. Let me see. That's a good question. I'll probably say Rashawn Lee.
Okay. All right. So maybe today you can do an April Fool's prank on him. Who's the biggest jokester on the team? Like, who do you think would be the one who's trying to plan out the prank?
With Cam Smith, Eric Douglas, Jalen Nichols, for sure. Yeah. And I'm gonna have to go with Luke Doty. Yeah.
Luke Doty. All right, that's a good mix. It's like a little Impractical Jokers vibe. You got to let us know if there is a prank that's pulled on April Fool's. I don't know if it'll happen, but it's always fun to kind of give out those team superlatives and see who ranks where. I have one more question, though, for you, Trey. There was a lot of hype about last year, winning the Duke's Mayo Bowl, finishing with a winning season in Shane Beamer's first year. It was very exciting for the fans, and I know they're really excited about this upcoming season, too. So how is the team planning to build on the success from last year, and just how excited are you for the upcoming season?
Well, last year we went 7-6, which is not bad, but some people thought we wasn't even going to win 2 games, so we proved a lot of people wrong, but we're still not happy with just 7 wins. We feel like we can win a 9, 10 games, 11 games, 12 games, so we're just going to try to just keep on getting better and better every other day so we can just grow. And I'm happy for the season coming up. It's going to be special.
We've got that spring game on April 16th, so just about 2 weeks away. It's going to be a great time for sure. Trey, thank you so much for joining us on this exclusive interview presented by Garnet Trust. Before we get out of here, just how much do you think an organization like Garnet Trust can help student athletes in South Carolina?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it gives a chance for people to know the lives of, of just the kids who play here. So, yeah. I thank y'all for. Let me see. It wasn't you. Who was the other guy who sent me a text? Chris Clark. Yeah. So
shout out, Chris.
Yes, please. So yeah.
Yes. Well, I will definitely make sure he sees this video. So thank you so much for coming on to interview with us today, Trey. So excited for the season, and we wish you the best of luck throughout the rest of spring practice.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Appreciate it.